I followed the election, and it's really interesting that we have to be concerned about our health and like the whole situation in general in an industrial stable country, I would say. I don't think he will really get elected again, but there are like theories how he can like manipulate the US laws to like stay in the White House for a certain amount of time. And if that is going to happen like without like unrest or civil war, I don't know. I will not leave the campus tomorrow and maybe until the weekend and then see what happens. I have my concerns. Well, it happened already once in 1930, I would say. So
Are you referring to Hitler?
yes, basically the same what Donald Trump is now saying was like he won't go. On the method of how he communicates, he has great similarities with Hitler, yes.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people in Russia do talk about American politics rather than their own, just because we don't really have a lot of options to, discuss about the politics that we have in Russia. Well, you kind of can't follow it. Yes, I was listening to the debates. It was definitely a nice perspective where you just like watching it from and just like talking about it with all the friends and everything. And I kind of find it interesting that politicians have like their own teams behind them, but like when people watching the debate, they don't really know about it and they just listen to two people and like kind of like going against each other. And I was just like, the debate for me was kind of boring just because we already knew what goals are for both of them. And it was just interesting for me to like see how they prepare the speeches and how they like actually articulate all that into the debate. I think it's more of a positive connection in between Russia and America right now, because during the Obama region, it was just like a lot of tension and like a war kind of like coming up in Ukraine and everything. So it was like it was definitely a different relationship that we had. And I feel like Trump was definitely not supporting that Obama was. But I feel like Americans are taking it like too much, a little bit, maybe like more extra to like a particular level where it's like, why is this like happening? Like it's just like going in a loop and everything.
There's just a lot of, I think, like stuff that you're not sure if it's true or not. So I was thinking I'd rather stay away from it too. Just what's interesting is as it approached, especially like this morning when I woke up, I checked it, and I was like, it's not like it's gonna affect me or anything, but yeah, it's just interesting to see how everybody is like, especially even in class yesterday, a lot of the professors were talking about it, and yeah, it seems like it is a big thing, and I can understand why. Yeah, as a international student, I want to know what's happening. I do feel that if I was a citizen, it would be very important to vote. I pray about it, and I mean, I know it's kind of weird, but I know that the country's leaders really affect, well, not only the country, but around the world. And as a student here in the U.S., I think it's really important that the administration is as effective as they can be, because that affects me in some way too. I mean, if the administration is blessed, then I will be blessed as I am here. So yeah, I am really hoping that everything goes well and I can go back home and used to say all the good things about this place. I think the elections here and the way they do the elections is very peaceful compared to how elections happen in the Philippines, where in places where you vote and cast your ballots, there's army and everything, and there's instances where somebody had to take the machine because a lot of corruption was happening and she had to run away. So yeah, I think the people voting here have to realize that they're so lucky to be in a country that is safe in that terms, and that they are assured that their ballot is counted and is, it's a good experience for them, whether or not who they voted wins.
If I'm following the election, that's probably an understatement. Right now, I was checking the results just now, probably my main topic of conversation for the last week and a half, following really closely. Definitely feel like I'm not alone in my PhD program. Most of my students and the professors seem engaged at it. Classes have changed schedules so people can get a better sense of the results, and overall it feels like there's a lot of interest in the lecture, definitely. But definitely this is probably the election that I've followed the closest. Even though I'm not allowed to vote, I'm not eligible to vote. Would have loved to, but who knows, maybe in a few years.
This is also true of France, of the UK, of various African countries. In the past, people would speak about the States with a certain amount of fundamental respect, and the foundation of that respect has been weakened tremendously. So, do I wish I had a say? Yeah, of course I do. More truthfully, I wish I could be involved in the campaign process. I have a lot of friends who are. I had planned on being a citizen, but as the path for Trump to occupy the leadership of the Republican Party became more and more evident, as we move from sort of the neoconservative bloc within the Republican trajectory through the Tea Party bloc of the Republican trajectory to the Trumpist bloc, I realized that I had really fundamentally misunderstood this culture in some really deeply troubling ways, and I was no longer sure I wanted to be a citizen.